Defense Forces Maritime, Air and Cyber Command MACC have intercepted a vessel seizing over 2,000 pounds of cocaine. The JDF says a collaborative effort was instrumental in intercepting a vessel filled with cocaine destined for Jamaica. It says the vessel was detained with 3 Jamaicans on board and over 2,000 pounds of cocaine with an estimated street value of over 1.1 billion Jamaican dollars. The JDF says the detainees and contraband were handed over to the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF Narcotics Division for processing and investigations. Meanwhile, Brigade Commander of the MACC, Brigadier Roderick Williams, says 2nd District Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard was recently commissioned as a unit less than 2 weeks ago at Discovery Bay in St. Anne. He says the major drug bust is a remarkable testament to the diligence and bravery of their soldiers. He says the seizure is a true validation of their work as sailors, airmen, and operational planners in what was a collective effort of the MACC and great proof of concept of the need for growth and transformation in the MACC and the JDF. In other news tonight, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has decided to transfer Clarendon Alumina Production, CAP, from Robert Montague's Transport and Mining Ministry. CAP is to be assigned to the Ministry of Finance led by Dr. Nigel Clarke. The decision was made during a meeting of the Cabinet that ended late last night. Steps being taken to transfer CAP to Dr. Clarke's ministry follows controversy that engulfed the entity's board of directors and led to Norman Reid quitting as board chairman and Minister Montague's move to dissolve the board. In a statement released today by Prime Minister Holness, after further consideration of the ongoing incorporation process of JAMAICA, he has transferred portfolio responsibility for Clarendon Alumina Production Limited, CAP, from the Ministry of Transport and Mining to the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. The government of Jamaica holds its 45% interest in the JAMAICA refinery through CAP. JAMAICA is a major industrial enterprise that is a leader in Jamaica's bauxite alumina sector and makes a substantial contribution to Jamaica's economy. However, across administrations, the government of Jamaica has been called upon to provide fiscal resources to CAP due to the unincorporated nature of the JAMAICA joint venture and in response to unfavorable global market conditions. CAP has therefore been a fiscal risk to the government of Jamaica for a long time and is therefore of macro-critical importance. In the meantime, the opposition is calling for an independent investigation into Clarendon Alumina Production, CAP. The opposition, in a statement released today, says the Integrity Commission and the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency MOCA must launch an investigation into the matter and immediately sequester all files, computers, and mobile phones of the chief operators to ensure that the investigation is not thwarted by persons who remain in place. The PNP also said that the continued flow of corruption information from CAP is indicative of widespread malfeasance, particularly as it relates to procurement, contract administration, and the fiduciary responsibility of the board of directors. The opposition explained that it agrees with the dissolution of the board, but says that alone is insufficient to address the breach of duty and alleged misuse of public funds by the board and management that was supervised by Portfolio Minister Robert Montague. The opposition spokesperson on energy and mining, Mr. Philip Paulwell, says urgent steps must be taken to terminate the existing management team and replace it with professional management who will protect Jamaica's best in this vital industry. The opposition says the Prime Minister has a duty of care to the Jamaican people, in the protection of their taxes, revenues, and assets, and he cannot fail to act. In other news tonight, 4 hours after a 22-year-old man was fatally shot this morning by a security guard in Portmore, St. Catherine, his mother was found dead at their home, also in Portmore, St. Catherine. The young man has since been identified as Khalil Bent, and his mother has been identified as Omega Bent, 46. Reports from the police coming into our news center are that at approximately 1:35 a.m., Khalil went to Phoenix Park in Portmore and allegedly got into an altercation with a security guard. He was fatally shot. Then at approximately 5:30 a.m., residents in another section of Portmore noticed that the grill and door to Khalil's home were open and made checks at the premises. His mother, who reportedly had a wound to the head, was found dead inside the house. Reports are that for the past 2 weeks, Khalil has reportedly been behaving violently. It is suspected that Khalil attacked his mother and killed her before being fatally shot in another section of Portmore. We will bring you more on this story in subsequent newscasts. Still tonight, the police are seeking the public's assistance to locate 19-year-old Matthew Evans, otherwise called Brown Chops, of Miller Road, Passage Fort, Gregory Park in St. Catherine, who has been missing since Friday, November 19. Matthew is of dark complexion, slim build, and is approximately 5 feet 7 inches tall. Reports from the Old Harbor Police are that Evans was seen at home at approximately 8:30 a.m. wearing a gray t-shirt, black and white jeans, and a pair of black and white zippers. He has not been heard from since. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Matthew Evans is being asked to contact the Old Harbor Police at 876-943-7799, Police Emergency 119, or the nearest police station. Meanwhile, another missing person, 57-year-old Errol Kennedy, otherwise called Mr. Ken, of Washington Drive, Central Village, St. Catherine, has been missing since Saturday, November 13. He is of dark complexion, slim build, and is approximately 5 feet 8 inches tall. Reports from the Central Village Police coming into our news center are that between 4 and 6 p.m., Kennedy was seen in the Windsor Heights area. His mode of dress at the time he went missing is unknown. He has not been heard from since. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Errol Kennedy is being asked to contact the Central Village Police at 876-984-2644, Police Emergency 119, or the nearest police station. As we continue with the news tonight, 46-year-old Glenford Henry, whom it is believed murdered his 16-year-old grandniece in East Kingston on the weekend, is now in the custody of the police. He was arrested yesterday by the St. Andrews South Police in the Seaview Gardens community. A search had been underway for Henry since Saturday. He had been described as likely armed and dangerous. Henry was being pursued by the police in connection with the killing of 16-year-old Sarika Pickard. Sarika was a student of the Convent of Mercy. Henry is expected to be charged with illegal possession of a firearm and 3 counts of shooting with intent. He reportedly fired at the police after he allegedly murdered Sarika. Reports coming into our news center are that shortly before 6 on Saturday evening, Henry and his grandniece were at the Lincoln Road address in East Kingston, where they both lived, when he pounced and opened gunfire, hitting Sarika. She was pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. A police team which had responded to the shooting was reportedly met with gunfire as Henry made his escape. Reports are that during the shooting, a woman was shot and injured while several motor vehicles were damaged. Continuing with the news tonight, we go to our COVID-19 update. Jamaica has recorded 48 new cases of COVID-19 and 4 additional fatalities, increasing the total of cases on the island now to 90,855 and fatalities to 2,363. The deceased are a 90-year-old woman from St. Thomas, a 93-year-old woman from St. Elizabeth, an 82-year-old woman from St. Mary, and a 96-year-old woman from St. Mary. Meanwhile, of the new cases, 25 are women and 23 are men, ranging in age from 3 months to 97 years. Kingston and St. Andrew and St. James recorded 11 cases each. St. Catherine, Hanover, and St. Mary recorded 6 cases each. Trelawney recorded 3 cases. Clarendon recorded 2 cases. Westmoreland, St. Anne, and Portland recorded 1 case each, while Manchester, St. Thomas, and St. Elizabeth have no cases on record for the stipulated period. In the meantime, there were 129 additional recoveries, increasing the total of recovered persons now to 61,965. Still making Mello TV news, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, will be using a cashless system to collect fees for street parking and will be inviting tenders in December to determine which system will be used. CEO Robert Hill told the recent Finance Committee meeting that no cash will be exchanged. Motorists will either prepay or use credit cards. He said that the KSAMC will be advertising for players to make presentations on the various cashless solutions, and the companies will begin to make presentations in January 2022. In March 2018, the KSAMC announced that it wanted to reinstate parking charges on 32 streets in New Kingston, Crossroads, as well as downtown Kingston. The corporation said that vehicles would be allowed to park downtown on selected streets. In Crossroads, paid parking would be allowed on Lismore Avenue, Arhead Road, Paisley Avenue, Melmac Avenue, Eureka Road, Eureka Crescent, and Caledonia Road. The parking meter system that the corporation used to collect parking fees up to the 1980s was abandoned as a result of vandalism. And that's our news package for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV Evening News at 8. I am Shelly Ann Hill. Do stay safe and pleasant viewing.